Hi there, my name is Treas and I am a manufacturing nerd. I don't know that there's too many of those in this country. A little bit of background first. I am the founder of Casey's Sewing Company and I'm rebranding to Fashion Tech Kansas City, and I'll talk about that later. More of my background, I started 11 years ago by getting recruited by a local company that sells post-surgical garments nationally. I built a team up to 13 stitchers and we were doing 200 garments a day. I learned all about post-surgical garments. I know way too much about plastic surgery and have seen way too many videos. I was in charge of 20,000 yards of 3 different kinds of fabric and 168 different components of hook size, zippers, elastics, laces. It was amazing and I loved every minute of it. Cutting giant stacks of fabric with a giant saw, which I'm not afraid of because I grew up in a restaurant with lots of slicers and dicers. And that kind of segued when I left and started my own company. I also got recruited to help companies train immigrants for sportswear and all kinds of stuff. I've really done a lot of help locally in that arena. I've got a couple of immigrants now that I go to Missouri Sewing and help them pick out their machines and help them get credit, help them set it up, and I take orders over there and I teach them the products. They're just darling. So because I've gotten recruited for that, I had to add these other areas into my realm. So I had to start with a new name, rebranding, so that people understood when they go to the new website, Fashion Tech Kansas City, that it has the areas there that show what all I do so that anything can happen that has to do with manufacturing. So I'm going to talk about this area of the company that does pre-production, which is the majority. I prep people for production. That's planning, designing, timeline, sourcing raw materials, all of these steps to get them ready for production. And there's always more than people realize. I help clients with the minutiae. I break it down for them and help them solve all of the steps. And sourcing fabrics, of course, whatever the raw materials are, is usually what can take the longest to find the exact thing that someone has in mind or that will work with their idea. Most of my clients are not designers. They are people with really good ideas and inventions. I had 3 clients that got approved to talk to Shark Tank when they came in town in February. 2 got callbacks. They have really good ideas. It was very exciting. Pre-production includes planning, timelines, besides sourcing the raw materials, patterning, revisions, before you even get to production. All of these steps just to get your first final sample and then talk about production. It's been a lot of fun seeing all these different ideas. I get as excited as the clients when they approach me with their ideas. Every day I get a call or email from somebody to see if I can help them. Most people are shocked by the price of it. They don't understand the hours involved to pattern something. We grow up with patterns from the fabric store and a relative making stuff. And so I think that's what people have in their heads, besides the prices for alterations. It's just so involved, and I usually keep them calm. Sometimes I have to talk them off the ledge. I really get them to the point where we can take action together and get results. And that's been the fun part of it. My superpower in all the whole world is that I'm really good at engineering the construction of sewn products. I'm using those terms now because it's not always a garment. It's a bag, or it's some other funky stuff for sports or whatever. It's been literally all over the place, and so I'm using those terms, sewn products, which usually makes people's eyes kind of roll a little bit, and then I just keep talking about, that it's inventions and stuff, and then they start getting the idea that sewn products actually are all kinds of things. We just don't think about it till we have it in our hand, and then it's like, oh, this has been sewn by a sewing machine by a person. So it's been really fun. All these areas of expertise that I've had to work on, marketing, helping clients understand, don't overbuy too soon, because you're going to change your mind. You're going to have generation 2 and then 3 of your product. So it's better to take careful, slow steps than to spend too much money and just have, labels sitting around because you bought too many too soon. And I focus on small batch. That really is the future, because the public is getting educated on sustainability, and that we don't need 1,000 of anything. So my job has gotten easier as people are understanding fast fashion and sustainability, and that we have those words and that I can use them so that the client understands. When I say we have quick turnaround times, that being said, I call 4 weeks quick turnaround. I say 4 weeks because frequently when people drop stuff off and then I get into it, I'm like, where's the labels? So there can be a hold up, and so all in all it can take that long, just because not everything is always there. There is a lot involved as far as organization, and I do what I call a lot of leapfrogging, because I can cut something, get it ready, but then I'm waiting on the machines to be free, so then I'll start something else. And so there's different stages of the products going on all at the same time. So this room usually looks like a fabric explosion, and I really have to try to stay organized with components and keeping things labeled and stacked together or bagged together. And that's a huge part of all of this, because there's so much going on all at the same time, which is what I love. And I feel really confident about my abilities. Not perfect, I know. So it's a lot of fun seeing the different ideas that people come up with. It's amazing. Just talked to another client, and they're in good hands because of my background with their product. Part of what I do is that I really can't show a lot of things that I'm doing because they're not on the market yet. The client sometimes hasn't even seen the final product, so I really can't. Manufacturers just can't post all the time. Sometimes we do odd shots, so you can't really tell what it is, but it kind of just shows that production's going on, to just let people know what all can happen. I've acquired a couple new machines, so I'm getting broader on what I can accomplish, and a little bit at a time. It just depends on who comes in the door and what they need for a final product. I love sourcing fabrics, well, raw materials in general. In the process, I just learn so much about what else is out there. And sometimes when I find other manufacturers that do other products that I'm not gonna even try to do, that's really good for me, the client, and back and forth referrals. So it's been interesting, because when I get a hold of another manufacturing nerd, we can talk for 20 minutes, and then we both have to say, we gotta get back to work. Because it's a small world out there, and only a few of us enjoy it. So it's been a lot of educating the client and figuring out, how do I translate what I know inside my head and lay it out so that the client gets it, so that they're confident. It's expensive, and I want them to feel really comfortable about what they're getting and why it costs what it does, and that actually they can every client that has tried to go someplace cheaper ends up spending more money because then they don't get what they need. You get what you pay for. We all know that. So now I'm going to talk about my own garment line, which is all compression wear or post-surgical. I am an expert in post-surgical, and I've got some compression tanks that are good for people that are transitioning and also autism spectrum. And I have a variety of styles and bathing suits even. And then I've got my post-surgical bra. So this is for after shoulder surgery or hand surgery. It's completely reversible, left, right, inside, outside. When you've had surgery and you want to put on your bra, you don't need to be worrying about which way is inside or outside because you're usually stepping in and pulling it up. So I designed it reversible always. And then I have shapewear that I make from a roll, so I can cut any size, and I do all the customs for Gown Gallery. I make all kinds of panels that help smooth people and give them a nice silhouette. Most of my clients are mother of the bride or groom. And then I've got a mask now, and then over here I have my sourcing shelves full of books and baskets of swatches. My compression line, I have more things in the works that it just takes time to get on a website. So I'm expanding all the time. I do a lot of custom, so it's not always on the website. So it's gonna take a while before I streamline some of my items and that they're ready, but I'm almost ready. And then I'm gonna show you my machines. So this is the sewing area of the studio, and I've got things kind of in an S-shaped so that no one ever has to worry about tripping over cords. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sewing machines. I have a labeler, I have a buttonholer, and I now have a jean hammer that's off-site in Lenexa. And yes, sometimes I work off-site. Besides consultations, we moved the hammer to where the jeans are because there's 2,000 pairs. So we just thought that would be easier than moving all the jeans. And also I run a zero waste manufacturing. I get the books that are outdated from Kelly at We've Got You Covered. I quilt them and turn them into footstools, so I put all my fabric scraps in the footstools so that we're zero waste. And with clients, I really try and I squeeze those pattern pieces as close as possible and really conserve fabric and treat it like it's my fabric, always. So I think that's the gist of it, and thank you for stopping in. I can't wait to meet all of you in person when things get a little bit normal, and stay safe.